in the Basketball Champions League. This is Group D game between Szombathely and Neptunus. Said to be a big one. 7th taking on 3rd in this critical game. Both teams fighting hard to make it through to the Basketball Champions League playoffs. And after tonight's game, we'll have reached the midway point of the regular season of the Basketball Champions League. We'll have a much clearer picture of exactly what each team has to do to make it through to those wonderful, wonderful playoffs. Remember, top 4 teams from each group will progress through to those playoffs, and both of these teams would absolutely love it to make it to the latter stages. Here's the schedule. As you can see, Dijon had a resounding win on the road to Besiktas yesterday. Also this evening, we have Bonn taking on PAOK and Zaragoza at home as well this evening, taking on Brindisi. That will close out Group D, game day 7. And really an exciting time ahead of us here this evening. Crowd starting to file in, fill up the stands. No doubt they'll make plenty of noise for the home team, Szombathely. Here is the standings in Group D. As you can see, with that win yesterday, Dijon continue to secure top spot. Our teams here, Neptunus, the visitors, are in 3rd, and Szombathely are down in 6th. But how quickly things can change. This group's an exceptionally competitive one. As we get ready for both teams to be introduced to the crowd here in the arena, Neptunus will be relatively happy with how things have gone. They do have a nicely balanced roster. They have a young core, and they're developing players for the future. Here is their roster. One of those players that's got plenty of experience is Davidas Gialis. Over 14 points, 4 assists per game this season. But the young star to look out for me is Gatis Masulis. He put up 16 points against Bonn in game day 6. And although he makes some mistakes, he's an exciting player to watch and a real superstar of Lithuanian basketball for the future in the making. As for the home team, Szombathely, they have a very young roster. They've only got 1 player over the age of 28. That lack of experience, that has caused them problems this season. But that said, on the flip side of that, they have a real never say die attitude, and that has carried them this season in certain tough situations. Here's their roster. Javonte Redick had a huge game last time out. 22 points, 5 rebounds against Brindisi. And also look out for Hungarian Zoltan Pearl. He's a one to watch, averaging 12 points, 4 rebounds, and over 5 assists per game. In the mascot and dancers on the court side. These final preparations are when players really start locking their minds into the game, the task at hand. As we're going to get player introductions now for both teams. Neptunus, the visitors, will obviously be introduced first. They've only lost 2 games this season, and that was the to the 2 teams that sat above them in the table.
Nem vagyok egyedül itt, mellettem Kálmán László, a Falkó KC Szombathely korábbi legendás játékosa. Egyből azzal a kérdéssel indítanék felét, hogy megőrzi-e szerinted veretlenségét hazai környezetben a Falkó?
Nagyon bízunk benne, köszöntök mindenkit, jó est!
So I've turned international. Sorry about the technical difficulty there. We're now back. So yes, we have the home team being introduced. As I said, they've only lost 2 games this season, and that was to the 2 teams above them, Bonn and Dijon. No real surprises for them at the moment. The issue they do have, though, for Neptunus is they need to keep their opponents under 80 points. If they can keep this team here, Szombathely, under 80 points, they've got a chance to win because they've won every game where they have and lost every game where they haven't. For Szombathely, one thing's for sure, they love playing here at the Savaria Arena. They've won both their home games this season. Here, there are only 2 wins, and they've lost all 4 road games. That tells you an awful lot. And not a real surprise with a young team. They also have to be concerned on the defensive end. They're shipping over 90 points per game on the defensive side of things. And one thing that is good, though, for the home team is that offense isn't a concern. They've got the second best offense in the group as well, putting up 89 points a game. So if Szombathely have it their way, we are in for an exciting high-scoring event here this evening in Group D of the Basketball Champions League. Under 4 minutes now until the opening tip-off. And the players will go through their final layup lines, keeping themselves warm and ready for the game. Such a meteoric rise for the Szombathely club. They've really reached the higher levels of European basketball in relatively short period of time. Here are our officials for this evening. Nicolas Maestre from France, Martin Horozov from Bulgaria, and Steve Bittner from Germany. They'll be the gentlemen donning the officials' uniforms this evening. And it's an honour for the officials, as it is the players, to be part of a wonderful competition that is the Basketball Champions League. Final 3 minutes now before we get things underway here in the Sava Arena. As they finally practice some free throws, and Szombathely probably should be practicing more free throws than anyone else, as they have the fewest free throw makes in the entire Basketball Champions League this season. But our visitors, Neptunus, have had a pretty strong outing so far. Only lost by 14 to Dijon and by 8 to Bonn. Here's your starting five. Janavicius, Sedekerskis, Galdikis, Masoulis and Galis. Starting five, as I said, the last two names there, Masoulis and Galis, are certainly two players to watch out for. And at the opposite ends of their respective playing careers, but expect that man as well, Galdikis, in the picture with coach Rengavicius to play his part. Galdikis is a man monster, a beast in the paint, and coach Rengavicius, I'm sure, will be wanting to progress. As for the home team, stacked with talent as well. Here's your starting five for Szombathely. Devontae Reddick, Ron Curry, Devon Washington. He's the only player over 28. Didn't quite catch the final two on that graphic, I'm afraid. A little bit too quick. As they enter the final huddle, Szombathely there, and I'm sure Coach Okon will want to progress. He's obviously coming off winning the Hungarian Championship last year. That was a big achievement. But how huge an achievement would it be to take this relatively young team all the way through to the knockout stages of the Basketball Champions League? It would be a huge achievement and a wonderful, wonderful event for the town. Final details being run through on the coach's board, both ends of the floor. Starting fives now coming to the floor. As you can see, it's Benker and Hooker were the final players within that starting five for Szombathely. Before we get started, just a reminder, You want to get your phones out now. Download the official Basketball Champions League app. It's available on iOS and Android. Completely free to download. It will give you all the information you need, not just about tonight's game, but all the latest news and views. It will give you stats and plenty of highlight videos to pick your way through during the week. Really is a indispensable guide if you're watching Basketball Champions League action. So make sure you download that one. I know I have. Make sure I check it out daily. So we're underway here in Szombathely, and they win the opening tip. Redick manages to knock it back to Curry. Curry to Hooker now. Little weave action on the top start. Nice change of pace, but the defense is up to it. And Masulis straight away makes his impact felt for Neptunus on the defensive end. Now into the low post. Masulis, little spin, looking to go to work. They're going to come across with a double, though. They see the threat from him, but it's a nice pass inside and an easy two for Sedekerskis. Washington hands it off to Benka. Benka now passes it outside, but Curry was standing out of bounds when he received the ball. A couple of early mistakes here from Szombathely. Neptunus, none of the players want to go over and inbound the ball. Someone's going to have to. Over goes Sedekerskis with a smile on his face. He puts it into Janavicius. Oh, wonderful pass inside. It's stripped away, though. It's going to remain in the possession of Neptunus. Quick hands, I think it was from Benka. Baseline ball now for Janavicius to put in. Gailus short with the three, and the rebound falls into the hands of Javonte Redick. I'm pretty sure it won't be his last rebound of this evening's game. Stolen away. Good hands from Sedekerskis. Janavicius now calls for the screen from Galdikis, but waves it away. Gailus now looking to feed Masulis in the low post. Being guarded closely by Benka. Good quick ball movement. Corner three is open, but once again off target this time. Neither team lighting things up offensively so far this evening. Benka calling from the screen from Redick. Oh, nice pick and roll inside. The strongman's not got a soft enough touch for the finish, though. And Janavicius is going to be fouled by Washington. As I said, Washington, the oldest player in the Szombathely roster. Only player over 28 years of age. Devon Washington, 30 years old. Certainly brings experience with him. Scored 11 points against Brindisi in the last game. Galdikis now. Tries to go inside to Sedekerskis, but it's stripped away. That's good defense in the end by Benka. He had a mismatch. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to hold Sedekerskis at bay in the low post, so he gets quick hands in the way. Benka for three now. Off right with that attempt, and it bounces out of bounds. Janavicius progressing it up the floor, being guarded closely by Hooker. That'll be an interesting battle. Two scrappy point guards that play basketball on both ends of the floor. Masulis back to Janavicius. Looks to split the defenders and draws the foul. I think that's going to be another one on Washington. That'll be his second foul of the game. Slightly disgruntled his teammate Hooker, understandably so. He put him in a position where he's going to draw another foul. Janavicius goes long to Galdikis. Back to Janavicius. Tries to skip it, but it's stolen away. Out at the races goes Washington, and he lays it in for the first score of the game for the home team. Almost 3 minutes gone. Both teams only one score to their name. Certainly a cagey affair so far here in Hungary. Galis looking to find some space, but that's great defense from Curry Masulis. Catch and shoot three is short. Rebound into the hands of Hooker. Energy levels starting to rise. Slight increase in the pace that the game's being played at. Probably needed for both teams, to be honest. Hooker pull up long two, and he's short with that as well. Janavichus now. Oh, wonderful pass and a wonderful finish. What a big, big play by Masulis. But it was the pass from Janavichus that made it so special. Look at this pass. He's got eyes in the back of his head. Knows that the young man's going to run the lane. And what a way to finish the play. A two-handed jam and the opportunity to go for the and one from the free throw line. And connects with the extra one. Gytis Masulis, just 21 years old, averaging almost 12 points per game in the Basketball Champions League this season. Certainly stepping up in quality. Drive to the basket, no good. Redick with a rebound and the putback. And the energy levels are starting to increase. Some of the nerves are starting to fall away. You often find that with basketball players. Once they stop forgetting about the occasion and just see it as the same round ball and the same size hole, they soon get things going. Galdikis floats down the lane from another Janavichus assist. Wonderful play from him. That's his second assist of the game. Curry now kicks it to Benker. Benker drives the baseline, tries to flick it back round to Redick. Hooker, he's got the mismatch he wants now, as has Redick in the low post. Oh, and the two-handed jam on the slashing cut from Ron Curry. The drums are in full flow, as are the voices in the crowd. Always a wonderful atmosphere in Szombathely. Janavichus. Galdikis on the roll, but Janavichus will shoot the three and throws himself to the ground. He needs to be careful. Didn't look like much contact to me. Could get a flopping technical if he's not a little bit smarter with the play. Benker now, hesitation, drives inside. Stops early. The defense is good from Masulis, though. Janavichus trying to weave his way through. It's not an easy task. Finds it inside, and Galdikis does what he does best. Just a strong, straightforward play to the basket. Galdikis up to 4 points now. Oh, and the score is good to go. Szombathely had another one from Hooker there. Janavichus now, again trying to find a way through, and it's intercepted by Benker. 2-on-1 break, back to Benker. Masulis tries his best on the defensive end, but Benker's too good for it, and that gives Szombathely the lead. Oh, wonderful heads-up play by Galis. Leading scorer for Neptunus so far this season in the Basketball Champions League. Averaging just shy of 15 points a game, Davidas Galis. Oh, nonchalant pass from Hooker, and an instant flush from Devon Washington. That's his second score of the night. It's going to force a timeout. It's certainly been, I'd say, interesting, but maybe even bizarre start to this game. Slightly nervous, awkward start from both teams. Neptunus then maybe found their form a little bit earlier, but then Szombathely came back into it. Timeout's been called by Neptunus. Let's listen in to Coach Ringovicius.
Okay, guys, we need better focus in defense. All balls 50-50, we must go for this ball. Why did 3 times take it? This 50-50 ball, they take it. Okay, offense. Let's go, David, 1 down. Davis, 1 down. Second we go. Let's go. Shoulder free, shoulder free. One down, shoulder free. Guys, all the stations with 4. Switch. Guys, if we switch, go full front. Shot, switch, full front. Big side, help. Давай, let's go.
Just really a reset kind of timeout there from Coach Ringovic, just asking his players maybe to show a bit more passion, a bit more hustle. There's a 50-50 ball, they need to go for it. It's a replay of the strong move by Benka. And Zombate currently hold a 1-point lead, 3:30 left in this first quarter. As expected, these two teams relatively evenly matched. And the league positionings, the group positionings kind of are slightly misleading, obviously, with Neptunus sitting in 3rd and Zombate sitting in 7th, but this group really is so evenly balanced. A couple of bad weeks can really send you from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top. Jagela now to Masulis. Hands it back to Galis. Williamson's come into the game for the first time as well. Galis is short with that mid-range jumper. Varady now. Curry to Benka. Catch and shoot from the wing. Oh, and there's your triple from Benka. And he gets a tap on the back of the head from his coach. Zombate lead out to 4 now. Game high lead for them. Masulis looking 4 options in front of him, nothing there. Galis will grab the ball. Williamson will come up and set the screen. Back to Masulis, fakes it, but travels. Shame really, because the lane opened up for him. And I think that was the problem. He threw the fake and the lane opened up in such a huge way that he just wanted to get to the basket and score as quick as he could. Varady now for Zombate. With the songs ringing out around the bleachers. Redick to Benka. Benka back to Redick. Can he hold on to it? He can! But that's great defensive effort from Sedekerskis. Jagala trying to fight his way to the basket. He's going to pick up the foul against Varady. That'll be Varady's first foul of the game. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's always in a difficult position there, trying to fight his way back into the defensive play. Olasevicius now into the game for the first time. Jagela with his hand strapped up will inbound the ball for Neptunus. Nice inbound pass, a little bit too quick for Williamson though. Ball is moved back around. Olasevicius nails the jumper. That's a way to introduce yourself to the game. And Zoltan Pearl, see what he can do for Zombate. Out to Pearl as Redick tries to establish himself but can't. Sets the screen and rolls. Floats inside and one. Javonte Redick. Sedekerskis is going to get pinged for the foul. And there's the old school pick and roll. It's become such a big part of the modern game. So critical for players at every level to be able to play it and defend it effectively. Redick will go to the line for the bonus free throw. 73% from the free throw line before this evening's game. Javonte Redick. Can't get the free throw to go though, so Neptunus still trail by 4. There's the long outlet. Sorry, Zombate still lead only by 4. And the foul is going to be called. I think that one's on Pearl. And that was just a little bit of a brain shutdown. As we see Slavinskas go strong to the basket to draw the foul. In comes Daquan Lake for Zombate. And Redick will head to the bench. The first is good to go for Slavinskas. Just 21 years old, another one of the bright stars for the future for Neptunus here. Misses the second though. Neptune is still trailed by 3 with just a little over 1 minute 30 left in this first quarter. Valady now waving Pearl away. And Lake almost loses the handle as Jagela gets into the passing lane. Nice spin move by Pearl, and that's exactly why they bring him on the floor. He's such a dynamo coming off the bench, really injects a little bit of class into proceedings on the offensive end. Williamson now back to Jagela. Jagela floats inside, has to put it high off the glass. Williamson with a rebound is no good though. The defense from Zombate came in numbers then. Filipovic hands it across to Benka as Lake sets the screen. Benka now trying to find Lake, but it's knocked away. Jagela picks up the loose ball. Now to Olisevicius. Oh, he's almost lost the handle. Which way is it going to go? In fact, it is off Olisevicius. The coach isn't happy. Not sure whether that's at the officials or his player. Slammed the ball into the floor. He's saying it was at my player, not at the officials. The official just giving him a final warning. Valady now for Zombate. Can he extend this lead that they have? And the simple answer is yes, he can, as he floats to the basket. Out to a 7-point lead now. About a 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Tunis are smart. They can potentially run out pretty much the entire first quarter clock before they take their shot. Zelinkaitis now, little shake, little bake, floats inside off the glass, is no good, and Zombate are going to have time now to come back the other way. Euro step, but it's after the buzzer. That one's not going to count. Marko Filipovic is going to be frustrated because he's rolled out a textbook move, but it's after the end of the first quarter, and an interesting first quarter we've had. The home team, Zombate, having the better of things in the end. I think they might actually look to review this. I'm pretty sure it was after the buzzer, but this is why we've got the review system. Let's have a look now. I'm not sure if Benka's going to get in the way. He does step across, I think. Yeah, no, he's still got it in his hands. They'll wave that one away. That one's not going to count. A lovely move from Filipovic, but it's not going to count. So, at the end of the first quarter here in the Savaria Arena in Hungary, we have the home team, Zombate, leading 21-14 over our visitors, Neptunus. Well, here are your shooting stats from that first quarter. As you can see, Neptunus yet to score a 3. Zombate only scored 1 themselves, so both teams looking to go to work inside. Both teams shooting 60% from 2-point range. Some nice highlight plays, and Masoulis was in on the act early in this game as provider as well as scorer. Etis Masoulis deals with the double team pressure well. But Zombate came back the other way. The scores of their own. Benka leading things for them with 5 points and 2 steals, whereas for Neptunus, it's Galdikis with 4 points. Is leading their scoring in the first quarter. As I said, this is game day 7. And remember, our visitors, Neptunus, at the moment, sitting pretty with a 4-win, 2-loss record in 3rd position, whilst the home team in yellow, Zombate, only have 2 wins to their name. A 2-win, 4-loss record from Zombate. Their wins coming against PAOK on game day 2 and Bonn on game day 4. They're actually in a 2-game losing streak at the moment. Doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're in these international European competitions, you can't afford to have too many games in a row without chalking up anything in the win column. So realistically, probably a bigger game for Zombate than this is for Neptunus. Ball inbounded as the second quarter gets underway here in Hungary. Game day 7, Group D of the Basketball Champions League. Zombate lead 21-14 after 10 minutes. Tough shot, but Williamson grabs the rebound and the rejection. Going to be waved away from Lake. Basket's going to be classed as good. I think that's a get out of jail for Williamson, if anything. Oh no, it probably was going to go. The lead down to 5 now. Varady uses the Lake screen well, pulls the trigger on a 3, heavy-handed with that, and Williamson battles hard for the rebound, and he's such a wonderful asset for Neptunus, Andre Williamson. Tireless worker in the paint. Jogela comes back to Williamson now, being guarded by Varady. Williamson will find it inside. Nice pass to Slavinskas. And the big man finds his teammate with ease as Slavinskas makes a perfect cut to the basket. Pearl now tries to pick his way through the Neptunus defense and takes what was a near impossible shot, but gets it to go. Wonderful skills there from Zoltan Pearl. Leninkaitis is no good for the and one play, as the foul's going to get called against Marko Filipovic, I think. Leninkaitis now at the line for 2 shots. 94% from the free throw line prior to this evening's game in the Basketball Champions League. Near automatic, averaging just shy of 10 points a game is Leninkaitis. So much experience as well. Won the Lithuanian Championship 3 times, Finals MVP back in 2012. And Leninkaitis could get called for an unsportsmanlike foul if he's not careful. Yeah, I think the officials want to look this one back. Is that a clear unsportsmanlike foul? Is there any play at the ball? Is it just a blocking foul, or is he? I think he might have even leaned into it, you know. That's going to see it upgraded from a regular foul to an unsportsmanlike foul if it is. Let's have a look. Takes the stand. Oh, I don't know. I think it probably is. Probably have to be an expert of the intricacies of the unsportsmanlike rule, which our officials are. So let's hear. Yeah, absolutely. No play at the ball, I presume, is the interpretation. So Zombate will go to the line. In more particular, Zoltan Pearl will go to the line. And then they'll get possession back as well. And the first is good for Pearl. Part of the Hungarian national team, Zoltan Pearl, in the World Cup qualifiers over the last couple of years, averaged nearly 11 points per game in those World Cup qualifiers for his country. Coming off the bench here from Zombate, but what a talent he is off the bench, the 24-year-old. Varady now hands it back to Pearl. Pearl trying to shake Williamson up, and does. Goes to the glass, and the softest of touches there, and it had to be to get it to go. And the Zombate lead is back to 7, and keeping Neptunus at arm's length at the moment. I think that was Leninkaitis. Now's the 3. Curry now. Waits for Pearl to come back to the top. For the poverty to Pearl. Pearl against Jogela. Not the matchup he wants particularly. Step back jumper is good, and Zoltan Pearl is warming up nicely. If I'm Coach Ringovicius for Neptunus, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned, because when Pearl gets that hot, he's near unstoppable. Varady with the steal, goes all the way! No joy with the layup. Great sportsmanship there from Jogela as he goes to help him up after he fouled him. Let's watch the defense. Just straightforward, quick hands from Varady and some hustle. just puts a body on him as he slides to the basket. Jagela will go to the bench off the back of that one. And Varady will head to the line. Everything flowing the way of Sombate at the moment. As Janavichus comes back in for Jagela. Varady doesn't hit the first. One of the stalwarts of this Sombate team, 8th season with the club. A real legend in the yellow and black. Janavichus now taking over point guard responsibilities. Delininkaitis into Olasevicius. Oh, wonderful little spin, so simple but so effective from Osvaldas Olasevicius. And it really comes down to the fundamentals there. Just textbook footwork, opened the basket up to him. Curry, long three, off target. Slavinskas pulls it down, and he's a bit of a runaway train at the moment as Curry fouls him. Sideline possession for Neptunus as we see Quentin Hooker is going to come in for Zoltan Pearl, and Pearl heads out with 10 points in under 6 minutes of play. 100% from the field, Zoltan Pearl. That's a big performance so far from him. Janavichus now, Olasevicius for the jumper. That's no good. The foul, no. I thought the whistle had been blown, but it hasn't. Varady now inside. The foul is going to get called at this end, though. That one on Delininkaitis, and Varady is becoming a nuisance to say the least. Neptunus is going to make another change as Davidas Galis comes back into the action. Hooker now for Zombate. 5-point lead for them. Curry back. Oh, for the thunder jam from Daquan Lake. Lake really an athletic player. Rose up high for that finish. Oh, and the foul is going to be called as the ball is stripped away from Janavichus. Hooker quickly got out in transition. Let's have a look. He has got his hand on him. It's a foul straight away, to be honest with you. I'm not sure it's the hand that reaches in. I think it's more the right hand that's placed on his hip, giving him the hip check. Janavichus is sensible. He rips the ball across the front of Hooker's arms. That's going to draw the foul easily. Williamson drives to the basket there, but doesn't receive the ball. Janavichus now uses the Williamson screen. Slavinskas is good. Slavinskas with a wonderful move. Sometimes it looks a little bit awkward the way he goes to the basket, but it's been effective in today's game so far. There's a replay of Lake just floating up and hammering home the dunk. Another exhibition of wonderful pick and roll basketball. Thankfully for Neptunus, the bonus is good. It's a 4-point lead now from Sombate. Hooker, little shake, floats inside, the finger roll, and one for Quentin Hooker. Look at the crossover, finds the lane. And that becomes a thing of beauty from Hooker. I think a technical foul has been called as well for the Neptunus player, launching the ball against the basket support at the back. So Hooker will go to the line for 2 free throws as we see Yetis Masoulis come back into the action. As Olasevicius will go to the bench. I think it was him that got called for the technical foul as well. It was indeed. Overreaction, you compound your error there, really. You give up your first foul. And understandably against Hooker, he's got quick hands, quick feet, but then to give up the second foul so easily like that. And Hooker, nothing but net for the second one. Alasavicius there, confirmation that it was his technical foul. Imagine he's earned himself a seat on the bench for a little while. Janavicius now. Is he going to spin the baseline? He wants to come to the middle, goes to Williamson, who's open at the free-throw line and nails the jumper. Andre Williamson, his second bucket of the night, along with 5 rebounds. He's certainly doing what he needs to do for his team. Varady pulls the screen up from Lake. Hesitation against Williamson, back out to Hooker, being guarded by Janavicius. Shot clock down to 5, he's got to do something with it. He floats inside again! Perfect angle off the glass from Quinton Hooker. Seems to have picked up where Zoltan Pearl left off. Hooker up to 7 points now. Yalis got the mismatch now that he wanted with Lake. Hesitation inside, skips back. He met with the treble team though, and Varady scoops up the loose ball. Elbow jumper from Varady is no good. Lake is following it through. I think the rebound came off Slavinskas, so it's going to be a Zombate ball on the baseline. And at the moment, it seems to be the composure, the hustle and the heart of Zombate that is outplaying Neptunus here in Hungary. Filipovic receives the inbound pass to Curry now. As Lake looks to set the screen, nothing there. Filipovic inside and just slides his way to the basket, and he gets the roll on the iron. Everything going the way of Zombate at the moment. 9-point lead for them. 4.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Oh, lovely backdoor pass on Janavicius. That one from Jagela. Oh, Hooker, crossover, step back, no good. Masulis pulls the rebound down, but Varady's going to get blown for the foul. There's the float to the basket. You wondered if it was ever going to drop. And here's the backdoor pass from Jagela, and that really has to be chalked down by a mistake to Quinton Hooker. Because they're in the bonus as well, that's going to send Masulis to the line for 2 shots. 85% free throw shooter Masulis. He's on loan from Žalgiris. Voted the best young Lithuanian player last season in the league, in the domestic league in Lithuania. And anyone that knows basketball knows what an accolade that is. They're not short of young superstar talent in Lithuania. Connects with both from the free throw line. Reduces Zombate's lead to 5 now. But Zombate seem to have a habit of holding Neptunus just at arm's length, a couple of possessions away. Hooker now to Lake. To Curry. They're certainly patient offensively. Hooker now again, inside's no good. And the chase down from Pearl was no good. Masulis grabs the rebound. Neptunus now have the ball in the hands of Janavicius to Jagela to Williamson. Williamson floats it inside, but that would have had to have been a near perfect pass. Pearl out of the races, and a two-handed slam is good for Filipovic. And that's going to force Coach Ringovicius into another timeout. His team trail by 7. Let's jump into his huddle. Listen to what he has to say to his players.
Guys, we feel all 5 switches. Давай, иди сюда. На свистке. Oh. 5 side 4. 5 side 4. Simas, you here. 4 goes here. Receive, play, post, play, post. Simas, here. Jo, du stăpeni. Receive the ball, play, ai cam baudos. Žai, post. Okay, second we go short free inside. Давай, let's go defense. Давай, more energy in defense, let's go.
And here's a replay of that breakaway, the pass from Pearl, and the finish with authority from Filipovic. Yeah, baseline ball for Neptunus now. They've got just over 3.5 minutes left in this second quarter. Can they pull themselves back into this game? As I said, Zombate just seem to have a habit of keeping them 2 or 3 possessions away. Janavicius into Masulis. Masulis against Filipovic, but quick hands from Hooker. And the ball is back in the possession of the yellow. Oh, spin move by Pearl. And he has got all the tricks in his kit bag. 9-point lead now. Jugala looking for the screen. Galdikis will set the screen for him. Kick back out. Masulis fakes the 3, drives inside. Oh, he's met up at the iron by Redick. To Hooker. Another 2 from Zombate. And the tidal wave of yellow is flooding all over Neptunus at the moment. The crowd are loving it here in the arena. Janavicius tries a cheeky back pass, almost behind the head to Galdikis, and Galdikis, the warrior that he is, just gets things done. Pearl now. Redick sets the screen. He's going to set another one for him. Doesn't use it though. Does roll with him, and that's poor play by Zoltan Pearl. Just impatient. Jugala out now. Janavicius for 3. Off target. It's almost stripped away by Jugala, but Redick holds on to it in the end. 1 minute 45 left now in this second quarter, and what an opening first half we've had from Zombate. They really have put a clinic on. They've really shown us some wonderful stuff on the offensive end. And Neptunus at the moment looking a little bit shell-shocked by what they've been met with. Wholesale changes here from Zombate as we see Washington and Benka come back into the game. Timeout's going to be called though as well. Always say it, but this last couple of minutes of a first half are so important. Let's listen to this Zombate timeout. Let's see what Coach Akorn has got to say.
Here go 4 men. Here is a 5. Here is a 5. Shooter and another guy. 3 men. Benke. Wash. Run like this. Zozo. Run like this, away. And in the same moment when they run, you want the screen. You want the screen. Benke stay like on the top. For Benke and you, make a screen. If they switch or not, step inside. Pass. Go to the corner. Okay. Let's go.
Real details being worked on there by Coach Gasper Akorn. So much experience for him as well. Obviously former coach of Petra Olympia in Slovenia. Won the league and cup back in 2017 in Slovenia. Now he's applying his trade. Oh, a catch and shoots, quick as you like. Chokot was obviously running down, and Washington got a good shot considering, but can't make it count. And we're now into the final 1 minute and 20 to play. Galdikis, Janavicius fakes the 3, stumbles slightly under the pressure of Hooker. Shoots the 3 this time, flat trajectory's no good, and Redick wins the battle of the bigs for the rebound. Pearl, hesitation, lane opens up, an almost impossible shot. Geronte Redick with a one-handed rebound. You don't often see that in traffic. Watch this replay. Wonderful effort from Reddick. Look at the strength. Just one hand, scoops it in, draws the foul, earns himself a trip to the line. As Delininkaitis comes back into the game. Can Reddick extend this Szombathely lead out to double digits? Not with the first of his 2 free throw attempts. Second season in Szombathely for the American big man. Scores the second, and it's back up to a 10-point lead for Szombathely as we're in the final minute of this first half now. Delininkaitis, Galdikis. Masulis has almost thrown it away. Delininkaitis holds on to it. Hesitation inside to Galdikis. Oh, and it doesn't drop for him, and he's only able to knock it out of bounds. The narrowest of margins. You see the frustration from the big man. Well, there's a 10-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, so Neptunus are likely to get possession back. Another timeout called, and it's these small margins that are so important that you can see this is why coaches are calling their timeouts, making sure everything is capitalized to the fullest. That's a Szombathely timeout called by Coach Akorn. Let's listen to his minute with his team.
Yellow, okay. No shoot of Delininkaitis. If he will switch on Delininkaitis, then it's better that he go inside. Now offense. Now in offense. Listen me now. Go our, listen me. Play normal our fist side, okay? Yeah? But Ju, Wash, stay totally down. Good screen. Good screen. Up. And you step in. Pass. Finish and dunk. Okay? Step in front. If it's nothing, normal. You understand?
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Once again, a very detailed, focused timeout there from Coach Jesper Akorn for Szombathely. The fans in the stands have made plenty of noise in this first half. They're on their feet. They know that this could be an important possession or two for Szombathely. Double-digit lead. If they hold on to that into the halftime break, that's a big psychological win for them. Hooker now with possession. They're going to take their time, that's for sure. Washington to Pearl, back to Hooker. Reddick sets the screen. Shot clock down to 8. Hooker, long 2. In and out. Rebound by Pearl. It's stolen away, though, or is it? Oh, it looks like it's fallen off the hands of Galdikis. And that is going to give Szombathely the last shot of the half, more than likely. 0.1 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. If they manage the clock well, they will enter the halftime locker room with this double-digit lead. Hooker now. To Pearl. And guarded by Delininkaitis. Pearl for 3. He's short. Galdikis pulls it down, and that will see the end of the first half here in Hungary. Group D, game day 7. And this game is certainly living up to the pre-game hype. At the half, Szombathely 46, Neptunus Klaipėda 36. And what an interesting first half we've had. Pretty much all of it played inside in the paint. Only 2 3-pointers between them. Both of them shooting less than 20% from outside. Rebounding battle being won by Szombathely. The concerning statistic, if you're a Neptunus fan, is that Szombathely have 7 offensive rebounds in that first half. Here are your top scorers. Pearl, the only player in double digits with 12. Slavinskas and Galdikis both on 6 for Neptunus. But it has been a quiet evening for Neptunus here offensively, which is a surprise. They're averaging over 85 points a game so far in the Basketball Champions League. And at the moment, They're tracking to be around about 70. But we had an interesting first quarter, a really stuttering start to the game. Both teams started warming up. Neptunus looked like they were going to take control early on, but then Zombate just came to life. A lot of it down to that man, Zoltan Pearl. He really is a firecracker of a player on the offensive end. So many tricks and moves, and you know, vision that he has on the floor is very, very good indeed. But the second quarter also went in favor of Zombate, and they've just, no matter how much Neptunus have worked to fight their way back into this game, Zombate have just seemed to be able to keep them at that arm's length, that 2-3 possession cushion. The whole time they've kept them there. And now at a double-digit lead, and when you've only scored 36 points in the first half, a double-digit lead is a mountain to climb for Neptunus, but my goodness me, they have plenty of talent, they have plenty of scoring in their roster, so you certainly don't write them out of the game yet. Your leading players in that first half, as I said, Zoltan Pearl, 12 points, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. He's played only just over 10 minutes of basketball in that first half. Wonderful statistics for him. Just behind him, also in the backcourt, Quentin Hooker, 9 points. Chalked up against his name for the visitors. Neptunus, no player in double digits, but Galdikas is on 6 points and 3 rebounds, and Slavinskas is on 6 points as well. Andre Williamson is working hard on the boards with 5 rebounds, as is Masulis with 4 rebounds. But at the moment they trail here. It's game day 7, remember. The form book would have suggested that Neptunus were favourites entering this game. They're third in the group, 4 wins, 2-loss record, while Zombate are 7th with a 2-win, 4-loss record. So they've got reverse records there. And what a big win this could be for Zombate if they can hold on to it all the way through now to the end of the game. Still 20 minutes to play here, though, at the Savaria Arena in Hungary. And that is a huge amount of time in the Basketball Champions League. At the halftime break, Zombate 46, Neptunus 36. Make sure you join me for all the second half action shortly.
Looks for another backdoor to Foster. Oh, baby! You gotta be kidding me! What a play by Marcus Foster! What a pass by TJ Klein! Oh, my Lord!
Young over to Rachel. And Vasturia picks it up, hands it off, and great play from Vasturia. And hands it off to Murphy, who not only scores, but is fouled on the play. That is. Drives in, gets to Sima, and Silla just with one of the blocks of the night. Well, that was big time.
Kissick with the one-handed running slam. It was that crossover movement that lost Galdikis, and he explodes to the basket. He's up to 22 points, another 20-plus point game for him.
Broughton has it on the ball reversal. You don't stop him. Oh! Get out of that highlight picture. Tollier down the middle. As we said, if you don't stop him, and he just threw it hard.
Oh, what a play, the alley-oop to Brown. That was one of the plays of the game right there.
Tenerife need to execute. And now Hurtas kicks it back out. Wide open three is good! For Lundberg yet again. Nothing but net. And he loves it. Tenerife love it. Heartbreak for Vefriga.
Yellowbacks now, chance for Gaziantep if they rush. Boy, that was almost a foul on Komalov. Crawford goes up for the dunk out of nothing. Goodness gracious.
Jagela close inside with the big thunder jam. And Jagela takes no prisoners with that play over the top of two Besiktas defenders.
Jim Olusoy gets it to Crawford. Over to Saunders. He puts it up. He had a lot of time left. Oh, he hit the three! Can you believe it? Unbelievable! There will be no overtime. 3-point shot by Sanders.
Welcome back to Hungary. This is game day 7 of the Basketball Champions League. This is the Group D game between Szombathely and Neptunus. We've had a wonderful first half of action here at the Savaria Arena in Szombathely. And at the halftime break, the home team lead this one by double digits. Szombathely 46, Neptunus 36. And it really has been an interior battle. And I'm not talking about a battle of the bigs. I'm talking about slashers, cutters, drivers. The two teams between them have only scored 2 3-pointers. The leading scorer for Szombathely is Zoltan Pearl. He has 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and he's only played a few TikToks over 10 minutes. As for Neptunus, their leading scorer, well, 2 leading scorers, Galdikas on 6 and Slavinskas on 6. I wasn't expecting to say that at the halftime break, that is for sure. I don't think either of those names were going to be expected to be the top scorers, and 6 points weren't going to be the top score they were expecting for. Remember, Neptunus enter this game 3rd in Group D, whilst Szombathely are 7th. After today, we are at the midway stage of the regular season of the Basketball Champions League. And what a big win that would be for that man there, Coach Akorn. If he could get his team the win this evening, really shapes them up nicely going into the second half of the regular season and gives them a real chance of fighting for one of those 4 playoff spaces in Group D. So much going on around the Basketball Champions League every week. Make sure you download the Basketball Champions League app, available on iOS and Android. It's your place to find all the latest news and highlights. It's got loads of feature interviews as well and stats. It gives you your transfer updates. So make sure you get that downloaded. Completely free to download. Just get your phones out now. Get it downloaded. You can stay into the box score on this one as we go along if you want to. If you want to get your stat geek on, please do. So here we go, second half underway here in Hungary. Szombathely currently lead 46-36 over Neptunus. Klaipėda from Lithuania. What can they do? Benka for 3. Oh, what a way to open the second half for the home team. They only hit 1 3-pointer in the entire first half. And they've matched that total within the first 10 seconds of the second half. 13-point lead now, Galis. Trying to fight Galdikas, but the defense is good from Szombathely. Galis now inside. Wonderful pass to Galdikas. Oh, just pure brute force to get himself to the basket. Washington not able to stop him. And Galdikas up to 8 for Neptunus. Hooker now. Waiting for the screen. Redick comes across, sets it, skips it back. Benka for another 3. He's short this time. Gets the rebound though. Steps in. Mid-range 2 is good for Benka. Szombathely continue to roll on the offensive end. Galis now inside to Galdikas against Redick. There's a big man battle. And the foul's going to be called on Redick. Oh, and 1. Continuation's going to be given. No emotion shown by Javonte Redick, but he bought that little shoulder shimmy from Galdikas. And then Galdikas draws the foul on him. He's up to double digits now. Maybe the unsung hero of Galdikas is going to be the man who lifts this team, only averaging 7.5 points per game so far in the Basketball Champions League. He's already up to 10 here this evening. Hooker now to Redick. Back to Benka. Neptunus seem to have ramped up their defensive intensity a few gears. Curry for 3 is no good. And the rebound pulled in by Sedekerskis. Janavichus now. Galis looking for Galdikas, no real surprise there. Redick trying to resist the pass going in, but Galdikis is just going to beat his way down again. Olasevicius floats inside and hits the 2. Back to single digits now, the Szombathely lead. Hooker passes it across, it comes back out to Redick. Redick elbow jumper off the iron and away, and the ball squirts back to him. Benker now waits for the screen to come across from Redick, uses it, and is fouled as Galdikis, as much as his arms might be straight up in the air, his feet are making his body move forward. So that's going to be the foul called. And it'll be a sideline ball from Szombathely. Both teams on one team foul so far here in the third quarter. 2.5 minutes just over gone. Curry now. Little shake, loses the handle to Redick. Picks up the loose ball though. Washington. Szombathely looking stagnant. Benker from miles out for 3. Doesn't get it to drop, and Sederkurskis scoops it up. And Szombathely's offense is starting to look a little shaky. Janavičius, Olasevicius, Galis in the corner. No good, and the rebound is pulled down by Hooker. And Galdikis picks up another foul. That's just his second foul, but that's 2 quick fouls on Galdikis. I'm not sure whether they're going to risk him or not. I think he did signal across to the bench maybe that he wanted a timeout after that last foul at the other end. Obviously didn't get it. Cost him another foul now. They have made the change this time though, as Williamson's come back in. Washington fading away is a tough shot, and Washington not able to connect this time. Another opportunity for Neptunus to narrow the lead. Just easily stolen away by Benker from Olasevicius to Hooker. Up and under is no good. Washington with a rebound, trying to fight his way to the basket. He will draw the foul. Either Williamson or Olasevicius going to get chalked up with that foul. Let's have a look. There's the reverse, the up and under. And there's the rebound by Washington. Yeah, Williamson surely going to get called for the foul on that one. Washington at the line for 2 shots. A pretty looking first shot. Played in France last year for Vichy before joining Szombathely in the off-season. The American connects with the second, and Szombathely's leads back up to double digits again. Janavičius now trying to shake Hooker, and that's easier said than done, that's for sure. Olasevicius trying to use his mismatch now. The double comes across, and Benker is going to travel. As he went to spin away, he span into his teammate Curry. So it's going to be a turnover ball, and Neptunus will be fortunate to get that one back. Coach Akorn there patrolling the sidelines. Galis looking to back Curry to the basket, spins inside, loses the handle. It's off his foot, so it's going to be a turnover ball. Good defense there by Ron Curry. As Delinkaitis will come back into the action. I think Galis is the one making way and heading to the bench. Hooker now. Szombathely once again keeping Neptunus at arm's length, even though their offense isn't flowing maybe as smoothly as they'd like. They seem to do enough to keep them out of harm's way. Good defense by Williamson against Redick. Redick using every single pivot he could find. And Williamson's going to get called for the foul, and that's the problem you have. You could have 5 or 6 good phases of defense. Look, he's played well there, but he's just bought that one fake. And that's given Redick the glimmer of hope he needed to get through and earn himself to the charity stripe. Not his first experience of European competition, this Javonte Redick. was with Zombate last season when they were in the Europe Cup, averaged 14.6 rebounds in that, so certainly showed out in that competition. Janavičius now being harassed by Hooker. Inside, Williamson. Oh, wow, goes over the top of two Zombate players. Lays it in off the glass. Williamson up to 6 points now. Curry now with the ball back at the top. Shot clock down to 7. Steps back for the long three and rattles it home. Always an important play. An important part of the offensive puzzle if you've got a player who can jack the three when the shot clock's running down like that. 12-point lead for Zombate. Janavičius, Williamson. The foul's been called, and you can see the reaction from Javonte Redick. He's not happy. I think he's frustrated. He's making a claim that he made the stand. Let's have a look at the replay here. Oh, that's the previous one from Williamson scoring. There's the three from Curry, the possession before. I'm not sure we're going to see the Redick foul call. He's exceptionally frustrated. He needs to be careful with how demonstrative he is about his protests. But Williamson is at the line for 2 shots. No good with the first. His second experience of the Basketball Champions League, this is Williamson, as he misses a second as well. Played for Freiburg back in the 18-19 season last year. Curry now, catch and shoot three. Oh, he's short this time. I have a feeling the roof may have been lifted here in Zombate if he drained that one. Janavičius, Delinkaitis off target, and the three-point woes continue for Neptunus. Delinkaitis, oh, an ugly flat-looking shot. He's saying his wrist got hit. He's looking to the officials for a call. I think the call has been made. I'm not sure what the call is. I'm not sure whether they're saying it hit the hand of a Zombate player. That's why it dropped short, so it's going to remain possession of Neptunus. Neither side happy. Zombate wanted the possession and Neptunus wanted the foul call. But we're in a compromised situation for both. Delinkaitis now fakes the three. Curry buys the fake, and Delinkaitis nails the three. For Neptunus, they will see that as justice served. He's up to 8 points now. Hooker back to Benka. Redick flashes to the basket. Hooker's open for the corner three. Oh, and he drains the three. And cancels out that previous Delinkaitis effort. The foul's going to be called on Hooker as he tries to hedge over the top of the screen. Second foul on Hooker. Let's have a look. There's no way that was a foul on the actual shot. After the shot, maybe. It's just grazed his fingers. He's pushed through his wrist way after the shot. The official, you can see his line of sight, perfectly looking at what's happening. Janavičius now. Uses the Williamson screen, pulls the trigger on a three of his own. String music for Janavičius. And we are getting into a bit of a shootout now here in Hungary. Redick throws it away. As Pearl was coming towards him, he's already let go of the ball, and you could see him almost try and grab it back. Couldn't do it this time. Another turnover, 12 turnovers for Neptunus, only 6 for Zombate. That tells you a bit of the story here this evening. Janavičius skips it. Masulis fakes the three inside. Look for the reverse layup, but Redick says, no way, young man, not in my paint. But he grabs the loose ball. There's a scramble, 2 Neptunus players on the floor. Benka out to Hooker. And he's fouled on his way to the basket. That's a good foul by Janavičius. It's going to send Hooker to earn his points the hard way from the free throw line. Make sure he wraps him up as well when he fouls him. There is no way Hooker was going to get the shot away. It wasn't going to be an unsportsmanlike call either. 2 shots now for Quentin Hooker. It's the first. He's leading all scorers now with 13 points, Quentin Hooker. And the second, he's up to 14. The Szombathely lead is back up to 11. Hooker heads to the bench as Varady comes in. Hooker's certainly done a big shift here in the third quarter. He's really steadied the ship for Szombathely. Almost stolen away. Janavičius handing off to Masulis when he wasn't expecting it. Delinikaitis now skips it. Masulis for 3. He's off right. The rebound falls kindly into the hands of Varady. Pearl, what's he got? Little skip, little shuffle. Oh, what a move by Redick. Quick footwork from both the Szombathely players there. You can almost see the drills they're running in their gym to get their feet to move so beautifully. Janavičius now back out to Masulis. Masulis has the door closed on him by Varady. And Janavičius has the mismatch he wants with Washington. Janavičius can't get the 3 to flow though. And Szombathely get a chance to extend their lead even further. Pearl now. Washington for 3. Drains the 3 from the wing. And it is all guns blazing for Szombathely. They're up to a 16-point lead now. Coach Ringovičius forced into another timeout. Biggest lead of the game for Szombathely, and it's a thing of beauty at the moment. Let's listen to that forlorn Neptunus huddle.
Okay, Džiugas, you take point guard. Tomai pasiim tą 11, jeigu jis nežaidžia baukai. We go all 5 switch. All 5 switch. Full front. Big side be ready. If they put ball inside, we go double. Offense. Okay, first we go 1 down with good screen. Keep a little bit longer. 1 down. Second we go.
And that really is a call to arms from Coach Ringovičius. He's saying all switch. So if they're screened, they're going to switch 1 through 5. That could cause them problems. It means you don't give up situations like that where the lane opens up. You're going to close the door on the lane, but you are going to give up mismatches. You could see Williamson trying to stay in front of someone like Zoltan Pearl, which is a big ask for Williamson, and the knock-on from that is they might give up more fouls, but the defensive intensity is cranking up a few gears again for Neptunus, and it needs to. Under 12 minutes left in this game. Foul is going to be called there, I think, on Varady as he jostles Jagela. Look at the noise in this crowd. These European nights of basketball are moments to savor. They truly are. Delinikaitis now is fouled as well. That one's on Pearl, and the officials are calling the contact. Pearl's not happy with it. Second foul on him, and that's going to send Delinikaitis to the line. And I'm sure Coach Akorn will be having a word with his team, saying, this is not what we want. We don't want to give Neptunus opportunities to break our lead down without the clock even ticking away. Delinikaitis now up to double digits. That's his 10th point of this evening's proceedings. And with 2 assists and a rebound. Pearl now to Redick. Back to Varady. Varady steps across, gets the mismatch he wanted, and this is the 1-5 swap that we're talking about, the switch, and Oh, Redick flexes the guns. And this is the problem that Tunis will have. They'll have the mismatches either on the perimeter or in the post if they're switching 1 through 5. Yagala for 3. Oh, that's ugly brick that he's put up. Pearl, Euro step. Poetry in motion, Zoltan Pearl. Dylan Nkaitis, baseline drive, skips it out. Yagala, catch and shoot 3. Off again, and Zoltan Pearl hands it out to Varady, and everything is going the way of the yellow and black of Zombate. The crowd are loving what they're seeing on the hardwood in front of them at the moment. A 20-point lead for Zombate. They really do love playing here at home. The crowd truly are their 6th man. Dylan Nkaitis skips inside. He's fouled by Redick. He gets the shot away. Redick's walking straight away from the action. I think he's frustrated again, maybe by the call. It's his 3rd foul. Oh, look at the Euro step from Pearl. Almost Euro step Dylan Nkaitis out of his shoes. And there's the outlet pass to Varady in transition. And not a sweeter bucket he will score. 10.4 seconds left now in this 3rd quarter, and a 3rd quarter that has gone all the way of Zombate. And then Nkaitis now, he's fighting tooth and nail to get his team back into this one. Scores both his free throws. What can Zombate do with this final 10.4 seconds? Neptunus are going to apply a bit of a press defense. Zoltan Pearl now is going to go to the basket, draw the foul. He's staying down. Hopefully he's not injured now. His teammates help him to his feet. Williamson again left with a mismatch, and what's he going to do? He's either going to give him the basket or he's going to foul him. Pearl to the line for 2 shots. See if they can extend this lead back up to 20 points. .15 points now for Zoltan Pearl, along with 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and under 14 minutes of action. Just unbelievable stats from that young man. No good with the second, no. 3 seconds left for Janavic to play with, and they're not going to get it away. That's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter, and the 3rd quarter utterly dominated by the home team, outscoring Neptunus 27-18. Final score at the end of 3 quarters: Zombate 73, Neptunus 54. Here are your game stats, and as you can see, Zombate hitting 4 3-pointers in that 3rd quarter. Almost 50% from the perimeter in that 3rd quarter, and that was the real game changer. That saw the floodgates opening. You can see Coach Ringovicius now with a big, big task on his hands. Do they have the ability, the energy, the stamina, the spark in their roster to fight their way back in from 19 points down? They've only got 10 minutes to play now, and that's a big ask, but you have to love how much Zombate love playing at home. They currently have a 2-win, 4-loss record here in the Basketball Champions League this season. Both of their wins have been at home. All 4 of their losses have been on the road. I think that tells you an awful lot about this team and how important this home crowd are. They've made so much noise already this evening. Every single play, there seems to be a few more decibels peaking in this arena. And if they carry on the way they're going, we're going to have to watch out for the roof by the end of the game, because you have a feeling they're going to lift it off. What a wonderful party atmosphere here in Hungary on a wintry Wednesday evening in December. Certainly a way to warm yourself up is to come and watch the basketball in Zombate. So here we go, the final 10 minutes of action. Game day 7, Group D. 3 quarters gone. Zombate leads 73-54 over Neptunus. And the polar opposite of the start that Neptunus would have wanted. An offensive foul called within 6 seconds, handing possession back to Zombate. And you see the despair there on the face of coach Thomas Ringovicius. Wonders what he can do to change things up. Neptunus now look like they might be sitting in a almost a matchup zone or a 1-3-1, and there's your corner triple from Benka. And they will not be denied this evening, Zombate. Janavicius now. Williamson sets the screen. They're looking a little bit lost at the moment. Back to Janavicius for 3. And drains the 3. Could that be the spark of a comeback? He's up to 8 points now, just his second triple of the evening. Varady, Pearl drives inside. Janavicius is going to get called for the foul. It's on the floor, I think. First foul of the quarter for, second foul of the quarter for Neptunus. And there's a triple from Janavicius, and if they're going to get their way back into this, you have a feeling it's going to come from the outside, as for the poverty there, unable to nail the 3 from the wing for Zombate. Delinkaitis off the glass, doesn't get the roll. Benka with the rebound. And smart move by Zombate now. Benka, corner 3. Oh, rattles home another one. 2 triples for Benka in the opening 90 seconds in his final quarter. He's up to 16 points, shooting nearly 60% this evening from the perimeter. Janavicius floats inside. The defense is enough to stop it from going, though. Pearl tries to pass it in, but Olisevicius is there. Galis, no good. Blocking foul, going to be called on Varady. He tried to make the stand. All happened so quickly. I think we'll need the replay. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's still moving. Still moving. He's falling for the Euro step of Galis there and trying to shake his body to stay in front of him. The right call. 4th foul on Varady, though. Wouldn't surprise me if we see him taken out of the lineup and maybe Hooker brought back in earlier than we expected. Galis connects with the first. You can see just the frustration from Davidas Galis there on his team's performance this evening. They've not been anywhere near where they usually are. And it's potentially going to cost them a big win. They've only lost 2 games this season in the Basketball Champions League. Both of them were teams above them in the table in Bonn and Dijon. They haven't slipped up. This is what they would consider maybe their first slip up. Lake trying to roll his way to the basket. That's going to travelling violation call. On Lake. I don't think he was expecting such a physical reception when he got into the paint. Now, one thing we do need to remember, though, is that even if Neptunus feel like they might not win the game, Galdikis now hands it off to Janavicius. Points difference could be absolutely critical, as has proved in previous seasons. So they will fight down to the final bucket, that's for sure. We've seen it night after night here in the Basketball Champions League. Baladi inside, Filipovic, nice! Uses the ring for some extra protection. Goes up on the reverse side for the lay-in. Back out to a 20-point lead for Zombate. Galdikis hands it off. Inside from Delinkaitis to Galdikis. And once again, the absolute warrior that is Galdikis just gets the job done. There's no niceties, no intricacies. Received the ball, couple of bounces, uses his pure upper body strength and power to get him inside. Here's a replay of the previous play from Marko Filipovic. The other end, Galdikas now at the line for the bonus. Takes his tally to 13 points. Reduces the Szombathely lead down to 17. Still a glimmer of hope here for Neptunus. And Varady is going to be fouled by Galis. And I like the tactic here from Neptunus. They're trying to deny the ball out of Pearl's hands. They know that he's the creative threat in the half court. But the other players don't quite have that level of creativity, but he's now got hold of the ball. They're going to retreat from him. Got the mismatch he wanted. Crossover against Galdikas. And he gets the roll. He has such strength and power to take himself in amongst the trees, but then such a delicate touch to finish it off. Up to 17 points now, Zoltan Pearl. Another huge night on the European stage for him. Delininkaitis off target with the three, but Galdikas with the rebound. Olasevicius, no joy. Galdikas again with the offensive rebound. Falls to the floor and drops it out of bounds. He's saying he was pushed out of bounds. The officials aren't having that one. Let's look at the replay. No, just lost his footing. Couldn't hold on to it. He has battled hard in the paint this evening, Galdikas. Varady now to Benka. Benka tries to pass it inside to Lake, but Benka's going to get called for the foul on Galdikas. Benka needs to be careful. That kind of reaction is not needed. And even for his own personal safety, I wouldn't be mocking a man the size of Galdikas if I was him. I think there's a saying, you want to pick your fights carefully. 19-point lead now from Szombathely. Janavičius with possession. Delininkaitis fakes it into Galis, corner three. Off target again. Janavičius for three. Low trajectory, no joy, and the rebound is ultimately taken by Varady. Galis surely fouls Varady there as he tries to progress the ball. No calls from the officials. Varady now inside. Filipovic floats away, and it's that fade away that's tough. The guy of his size and range doesn't need a fade away. Galis has it stripped away by Varady. Filipovic comes up with a loose ball, and I think Galis is going to get called for the foul, and anything that could go wrong here for Neptunus seems to be. And it doesn't get any easier. And Szombathely are going to bring Hooker back into the game, who absolutely terrorized them on both ends of the hardwood in that third quarter. The fans in the stands are really enjoying this game here this evening. The home fans have been given an early Christmas present from their team, you would say. Lake, oh, he's fouled hard by Delininkaitis. As Lake looks to go to work, he had the spin on Janavičius, and Delininkaitis came across and did slap the ball away, but put his arm pretty firmly across the arms of Lake. Lake now at the line for two shots. 83% from the free-throw line prior to this evening's game. Daquan Lake misses the first of his two, though. Just 22 years old, graduated from Arizona State in the summer. Finished there averaging 6 points, 4 rebounds in his senior year. Definitely a work in progress, but you can see the talent and the potential that that young man has. And what better way to sharpen that than in the Basketball Champions League. Delininkaitis for three. catch and shoot. There isn't a quicker release than that. And you can see when a player's in automatic gear, like he was there, it literally wasn't even a thought process. His body just went into autopilot. Hooker barrels his way inside. That's a tough move. There's good hands in the lane from Neptunus. Janavichus now. Savicius is going to get called for the travel. Picked up his pivot foot before he dribbled the ball. Can't believe the call, but everyone else can. 4 minutes, 8 seconds left here. As we see a replay of that wonderful sweet stroke from Dilinkaitis. He certainly had a big game. 15 points for him. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough, though. 17 points with just 4 minutes to play is a Herculean task for Neptunus to take on. Hooker now waits for the screen from Redick. Back to Benka, to Filipovic. The three is short, it's an air ball. And it's going to be a Neptunus ball. Hooker's saying Galdikis edged him out of bounds. To be honest, I'd say probably just the gravitational field of Galdikis was enough to edge Quentin Hooker out of bounds. Janavichus now using the Olasevicius screen. Almost loses the handle, though. Comes outside to Sedekerskis, and they rotate the ball round. Shot clock at 8. Sedekerskis now slightly off target. Galdikis grabs the offensive rebound and battles his way inside. Can't get the put back to go, but does knock back the rebound. Olasevicius for 3. The iron spits that one away, and Hooker is fouled as he grabs the rebound, and Dilinkaitis is going to be called for that foul, and things are starting to get a little bit testy. A few ratty nerves on both sides now. Hopefully it settles down and we return to normal service of what has been a wonderful basketball game. So many highlight plays, so many wonderful performances here this evening. Hooker hits the first of his 2 at the line. Up to 15 points personal now, Quentin Hooker, along with 4 rebounds, 2 assists as well. And the second, a bit of a competition with Zoltan Pearl for who's going to be the leading scorer for Zombate this evening is Quentin Hooker. They've both been absolute Goliaths in the backcourt for Zombate. I think Redick's going to get whistled for another foul. That'll be his 4th, I think. Sideline possession for Neptunus. Both teams now in the bonus, though. So for the final 2 minutes, 56 seconds, we might see a few free throws being doled out. Janavichus, Slavinskas, Galdikis inside, Masoulis. My goodness me! All 3 Zombate defenders bit at the fake and sent Masoulis to the floor. He'll go to the line for 2 shots. Just watch this. A wonderful fake, and you just see yellow jerseys flying everywhere trying to block Yetis Masoulis. He's off to the line for 2 shots, though. His father, Thomas, part of the Lithuanian Olympic team back in 2000 at the Sydney Olympics. Managed to walk away with bronze there, and you'd be crazy to bet against his son potentially having some form of Olympic, Eurobasket or World Cup medal around his neck at some point in his career. A real talent. Pearl now back to Filipovic. Filipovic now just executing the easy plays at the end. A 19-point lead from Zombate. The crowd are in party mode here. Masoulis drives to the basket and barrels his way up to the glass. for another basket. And Filipovic now slowing it down, but goes inside, tries to take on Galdikis, but Galdikis gets his footwork perfect in that situation. A Redick to Curry, to Hooker, Filipovic. Oh, and that is team basketball at its finest from Sombate. On a steal by Curry. It's out of bounds though, as Curry plows into Masulis. He looks like he might be hurt on the side. Here's the team basketball, the final pass. Filipovic just nails the three, and what a way to finish the playoff. Gonna have a look, I think, a replay. I don't know if it's about who has possession or whose possession it should be, because Curry steals the ball. Who steps out of bounds with it first? Yeah, it's gonna be a Zombate ball, as Masulis kind of hits the ground with the ball under his left wrist. And look at that reaction from Varady and from Curry, slapping the wood. They have enjoyed almost every second of this evening's game. And you just wonder, could Zombate be that fairy tale story in this year's Basketball Champions League? They certainly have a passionate fan base here at home in a wonderful arena. It really is one of those arenas with plenty of personality. Wait to see what the call is. Yep, they're going to stay with the call on the floor. A Zombate ball on the sideline. 1:54 to play, 91 to Zombate, 71 to Neptunus. Timeout has been called, and what a game we've had. It really has been a wonderful second half performance from the home team, and Neptunus have just looked like they were in front of a juggernaut here in the second half. Let's listen to Coach Gasper Okorn. Sorry, Coach Ringovicius here for Neptunus.
Now in this few minutes lost for 10 points. So be smart. Play smart basketball. We need little result to our side. Okay. Defense. Take point guard. Let's go all 5 switch. All 5 switch by our rules. Yeah. Offense. Let's go. Shoulder free. If you have fast break, go for that. That's fatigue. Okay, let's go. Hey, go. That's good.
Smart timeout there from Coach Ringovicius. He's just saying to his team, look, don't give up on this game. Yes, we might not be coming away with the win, but every basket could be massive for their chances of qualifying to the round of 16. They know that the closer this game is, the more chance they've got of making it to the round of 16. This is what's great about the Basketball Champions League. No game ends up actually being dead. You have to fight to the final buzzer. You have to fight in 24-second chunks. And that's exactly what the Neptunus coach there is asking for. Hooker to Curry. Curry, little shake, pulls the trigger on the threes, off left with that one though, and Masulis grabs the rebound for Neptunus. And let's see if they've listened to what the coach is saying. Are they going to build something here in this possession? Masulis on the wing. Filipovic now playing some post defense against him. Stolen away, it's knocked off Masulis' legs, and maybe some of that inexperience is starting to shine through a little bit for Gytis Masulis, but that's part of the process for him in his personal journey. The tough lessons to learn, particularly on a big stage like the Basketball Champions League, but the only way you get better is by learning these lessons. Curry now to Pearl. Gonna roll his way to the basket, fades away, and once again, the soft touch of Zoltan Pearl is enough to secure another 2 points. Final 50 seconds now of this encounter. Janavichus has it stolen away. Hooker out to Pearl, and a one-handed flush from Zoltan Pearl. 21 points, 75% from 2-pointers for Zoltan Pearl. Wonderful play this evening from him. He really is growing in stature as every week passes here in the Basketball Champions League. Timeout called. As I said, the game might be out of hand now, but they're going to play every possession. Let's listen to Coach Ringovičius again.
We need regular quick offense. We don't need play to them. We need two offenses. Thomas. Go with others. Okay.
And there's the steal away by Hooker. Hands it off to his partner in crime this evening, Zoltan Pearl. Those two have been formidable in the backcourt for Szombathely. Just relentless, I think is probably the word you'd use. And, you know, the backcourt for Neptunius will just feel that they've been through the ringer for 40 minutes. It hasn't stopped, whether it's Pearl or Hooker. Someone has been taking it straight down their throat on both ends of the floor. Wonderful, and you can hear the appreciation from the fans in the stands. They have been behind their team 100% for the whole game. Wonderful, wonderful scenes here in the arena. Janavičius now. What can Neptunius do in the final couple of possessions they've got? Galdikis rattles home another one, and Galdikis will be taking some plaudits. He's up to 15 points now, Galdikis. Hooker hands it off to Curry. Curry being chased out by Galdikis. Filipovic, now he's got the mismatch he wants, Curry. He's going to shake, step back, long two, and he's fouled. That's going to send Curry to the line for 2 shots. A smile on Galdikis' face. He knew it was the last place on the floor that he wants to be. He doesn't want to be isolated on the perimeter with a guard. Did his best, but ultimately could only foul him. As we see Olasevicius come back into the game. That's purely looking at one more offense in mind for them. 14.2 seconds to play. Can Neptunius reduce this deficit by scoring one more basket? Curry hits the first of his 2 at the line. Just 6 points for Ron Curry, but done plenty of the intangibles this evening. A real hustle and heart kind of player. Connects with the second as well. Janavičius now. He's going to run the clock down. They'll want to score something off it, reduce the deficit if they can. Janavičius floats inside, has it knocked away. Lake to Filipovic. Oh, it's going to be out of time, but a nice way to finish the game nonetheless. And what a game for Szombathely. Plenty of smiles for the men in yellow as they win this one. Szombathely 97, Neptunius 73. And what a game we have had here in the Savaria Arena in Szombathely in Hungary. Group D, game day 7 has dealt us a wonderful game. It's gone against pre-game expectations. Neptunius obviously entered the game as favourites. They're 3rd in the group. They've only lost 2 games this season in the Basketball Champions League. What they didn't take into account was the Savaria Arena impact, the effect that that has on this young team, Szombathely. They've only won 2 games prior to this evening. They've both been at home. They haven't lost a game here in this arena. They've lost all their games on the road. And the crowd have really enjoyed themselves. And the fans are getting some appreciation thrown back their way from the players. Wonderful night, wonderful scenes, and exactly what European basketball is about, exactly what the Basketball Champions League is about. Wonderful team performance from Szombathely, just phenomenal. As we now hear the crowds singing out. You can hear the crowd now singing to the players at the end of the game. Wonderful atmosphere, wonderful environment, and they deserve all the plaudits they get. And this is how they finish their game off here. Here are some of the highlights from the game this evening. And Szombathely got off with a slow start in the first quarter. It looked like Neptunus were going to take control as we expected before the game that they would. But Szombathely just lit a touch paper, and that touch paper was called Zoltan Pearl. He came off the bench, really injected some offensive creativity, some dynamism to proceedings. And that really started them on the road that's got them to what is an unbelievably comprehensive win. 24-point win against Neptunus. A young team, remember, Szombathely, only one player over the age of 28 years. And he isn't even one of their key starters. He isn't one of the main men for them, Washington. But what a wonderful game we've had here in Hungary. As I said, Zoltan Pearl is the standout player. There's no two ways about that. He's had a wonderful, wonderful game here this evening. On both ends of the floor. But obviously, you have to look to the backcourt combo of Pearl and Hooker, really. Zoltan Pearl ended up with 21 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Whilst Quentin Hooker, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals as well for him. Wonderful, wonderful play. Benka had 16 points as well, 4 from 7 for the perimeter. And also Filipovity with 11, and Redick with 10, all in double digits for Szombathely. For Neptunus, they only had 3 players in double digits. Dylan Kaitis had 15. He did everything he could in that second half to try and spark some offense. And Galdikis, the big man, the warrior, the battler in the paint, also ended up with 15 points. He had 7 rebounds and 3 assists to his name. Jurnavicius, the other player in double-digit scoring, he had 10 points, but probably more importantly for him, 9 assists as well. But what a game we have had here in Szombathely in Hungary. As I said, we're now at the midpoint of the regular season of the Basketball Champions League. These teams will now look forward to their final games coming up over the next couple of weeks. So next week, Szombathely will be at home again to take on Dijon, whilst Neptunus will be on the road again to take on Brindisi. But what a wonderful game we've had here in Szombathely. As I said, the midpoint now of Group D. Here are your game statistics. Wonderful shooting from the perimeter in the second half from Szombathely. Pretty even across the board on some of the other stats. It really was that perimeter shooting that cost Neptunus dearly in the end. And there are your top scorers: Pearl with 21, Benka with 16, Hooker with 16, Dylan Kaitis with 15, Galdikis with 15, and Jurnavicius with 10. Plenty for the fans to talk about as they leave the arena here this evening. A wonderful, wonderful game of European basketball, and the unbeaten home record continues for Szombathely. Phenomenal, really. They snap a 2-game losing streak. Here are your group standings. They move up to 3rd in the group, just behind Neptunus. That might change, obviously, as game results come in. But they'll be happy. Here this evening, Szombathely win this one 97-73 over Neptunus Klaipėda. A wonderful game of European basketball. Thank you for joining me, and we'll be back with more Basketball Champions League action soon.